Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hope you have a wonderful day.
We surely do.
Probably can't see anything, but at the current stage that this is being recorded, we are in Gold Coast.
Service paradise. That's why
sorry.
it's so noisy. Yeah.
We're here for second week of school holiday. So instead of us staying around in Sydney, we decided to come up to
Yes,
Gold
up
Coast.
to Gold Coast.
So we did a 3-day trip, I guess, for the kids' entertainment.
The 3-day theme park.
3-day trip, sorry, 3-day
Yeah,
theme
theme
park
park pass.
Passes. So we went through, what was it?
We just went Movie World and 2 times of the Sea World because our kids, they're still quite young, they're 6 and 7. First day lucky we went with Movie World because it is horrible for the age. It's just constantly lined up, well, not only for the age and this age too, any other age except
Yeah.
the teenager, I reckon.
So if you're ever considering of going from, I guess, New South Wales to Queensland for a holiday, you thought that it's still going to be a long time wait for any of the theme parks.
Yep.
Because obviously, yes, in Queensland it's not a school holiday, but it's school holiday in New South Wales.
Yeah, so people like us just fly up
Yeah,
or
we thought-
drive up.
We thought it would be like, okay, then there's less people, but that's not the case. The crowd is...
If we
still
can
up.
think of it, a lot of people would have thought about that as well.
Yeah.
So that's one of the mission. We took the kids to Gold Coast because they have never been, and last time we came here was 10 years ago.
Yeah, and on top of that is they haven't been on an aeroplane, so we decided to go on an aeroplane and to kill a lot of things in one hit. We also have investment property in here to have a look
Just
at.
to correct you for a bit, they haven't been on aeroplane since COVID.
Yeah, since COVID. So, and since they've forgotten and have no idea on...
No, they were just banking on, okay, I hope there's TV. I hope there's TV. Oh, sorry, domestic.
It's a short
aeroplane
trip.
we took.
It was a short trip. Like
I remember back in the days they had it. I think depends on where you go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, they're good. And then the other purpose we came up is
It's for the investment property because we haven't actually looked at it. So we purchased a property
7 years ago.
7 years ago, and
We paid it off 2 years last year or
I think-
2 years ago?
Yeah,
Last year?
a
Maybe
year,
last
2
year.
last year.
Last year, maybe.
I don't know how long it was, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we haven't actually physically visited
Yeah.
or have looked at the property since we
Purchased
started.
it. Yes,
Um,
never.
And
It's a freestanding house, 3-bedroom house with a backyard.
with a front yard, backyard, which
Yeah.
we don't have.
Yeah.
We're living in an apartment. And knowing what I know now, if you are thinking of buying investment property, there are certain things that you probably have to consider. One of them would be the maintenance of it.
Oh yes. So the first time we went to check it, the tenants there, the agent were there.
Yeah.
And then we know every year or every 6 months they do an inspection report. We knew that there's mold, there's some moisture between some walls, so it's our concern for that. And then they saw us. Of course, there were more issues. Carpets old, paint is there, and the ceiling and everything.
Yeah.
So we like yeah, we can do it, but it has to be gradually.
Yeah.
And then after that inspection, we're like, wow, we have paid it off. We don't pay the bank any interest anymore. But even if the rent is okay. It's not much. We were asking for 400 now. Used to be 385.
When we started, it was about $330 per week, and
Yes.
then gradually going up as we go along.
Yeah.
Now is with the rent and you rent appraisal at $400 per week.
400. I think the agent said 390 to 450, but
Yeah.
then we said 400.
Yeah.
Because this tenant been like looking after it, but they have been asking a lot of maintenance, a lot.
Which is understandable because over the 7 years we haven't actually done any maintenance. It is bound to happen, the wear and tear, and it's expected.
Yeah.
You know, having a house versus having an apartment, there's certain, I guess, costs involved with it.
Yeah.
Let's say in an apartment you don't pay a lot of maintenance, but you pay strata.
Correct.
The strata cost involved would be, which
Is your
it's the same,
maintenance.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same. I look at it, it's about a similar amount
Yeah.
that we have to do it ourselves.
Because last year we just repainted the house outside.
The outside and house
Yeah,
alone, that
it was
costs
6,000,
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
it?
under $7,000. And then now we have to do the inside because there's a lot of movement and mold, a lot of cleaning that needs to be done, and moisture, and probably a few plumbing issue as well. It's given that one, it's a rental property. There's bound to be a lot more wear and tear versus your own property, because at your own property, you're bound to look after it a lot longer
Yeah,
versus a rental.
correct.
So I guess that's a good and bad. Now, if you are like, let's say, putting down a 5% deposit and you still have a lot of mortgage in it, some owner, I understand now why they a bit bitter, or if not, they're reluctant to do any home
Maintenance,
improvements.
yes.
Because they still have to pay the bank.
Yeah, they have to pay the bank, and then on top of it, you have to fork out the money to pay maintenance or repair. And then now interest rate is going higher.
Yeah. I think over 6 months or 3 months or something like that. It's been going up. It
Yes,
hasn't
it's like
stopped.
2%. Apparently, it's going even further.
Mhm.
I was checking the mortgage interest rate. It used to be 2% and a bit, and then now at least 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's going even higher in the future, at least 6 or 7%.
So if you are thinking about buying property, as a whole, you always have to make a buffer, like a big amount of buffer, or have some
For the
sort of-
interest, yes.
Not just the interest repayment.
yeah.
It's more like the wear and tear on the property as well.
Yeah.
The upkeep of that. I mean, I'm expecting to spend roughly about $5,000 to $10,000 on repair.
No, I think more than that.
On repair and
More.
I guess upkeep.
Yeah.
That's this year. As of
Yeah.
the visit that we're looking at new carpet
Oh.
as well as painting.
I'll say we should put a maximum every year 5,000 for maintenance.
Correct. So
Which means $100
per week
gone.
average.
So let's say if we're receiving $400 gone, 300, and then we're gonna pay agent around $30, so it's $270, and then we're gonna pay council, insurance.
That's another
It's not much
$100.
left. It's not much.
So I guess that's the other thing you got to look at. Be mindful on what the marketing gimmick out there. People always look at it. Oh, yeah, the growth is getting higher and higher. Yes, it is appreciating value.
Yep.
We purchased it at $290 or so.
282.
Yeah, $282,000.
Yeah.
And the last price that I checked last night, if we were to put it on the market right now, it's roughly about $450.
Yeah.
But in that instance as well, if I sell it, great, I get the appreciation, but I lose the goose that laid the golden eggs.
Yeah.
So that's my side from what I see. Any thoughts on your side?
Well, I still see property is it's like a really long-term investment. And personally, I still prefer ETF. Even though
Yeah.
market is going down, because you don't have to deal with the agent, you don't have to deal with the tenants whinging about that, you don't have to worry vacancy, maintenance, or the house got burned down. They ask a lot.
I think they ask a lot is because of that. Over time, it's gradually
Yeah.
to deteriorate.
The last tenant did not ask.
Well, that's because
I think it's
they
based
didn't-
on the
Yeah.
tenant as well.
And it wasn't vocal. The last tenant wasn't vocal of like, hey, this one's broken, this one's broken.
Yeah.
They weren't requesting anything.
Yeah.
Some tenants like that. Some tenants, it could be bad and good and bad. Yes. I say it's a good thing that if they do mention all of the repair that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because that way, it's broken.
For me, structure, yes.
Yeah.
Like tiny thing, no.
Like what? What's a tiny?
I don't know.
So all of the things that is actually being requested is actually big major
they
things.
can't change it. Yes.
And it's request.
But I'm the bitter owner, landlord. So ask me anything. I don't want to fix it. No.
Yeah, and there is a lot of those, and we don't want to be one of those. We try to keep our tenant happy because
They look after the house. They do.
They did.
Yeah.
And with all of the repair that needs to be done, it's not just a minor repair. There needs a big repair that you do require the owner to approve of.
Yes.
So, as a whole, it was a bit disappointing that the fact that we have to do a lot of repair.
Yep.
But over 7 years,
That's all right.
That's okay. That's actually quite good.
Yeah.
So that's just an update on our investment property.
Yeah.
This is the only investment property that is, I guess, we're keeping it as buy and hold.
Correct. The other that we had. So we used to have 4 together. This one is fully owned. And then we sold one as traditional one. And then the other 2, I can't keep my finger. Anyway, 2 more, they were sold via vendor finance.
So,
Yeah. We will talk about that.
Yeah, we'll go in depth a
In the
little bit more with
future,
all our,
yeah.
I guess, properties and
The
how we do them.
numbers, I'm sure there are a lot of people don't understand what's vendor finance, and we're thinking, well, actually it's pretty good cash flow compared to a traditional rental. But
So-
we'll show you the number
Yeah.
about our income.
I mean, I guess this is one good trip, good way of when you're going around different state, if you have a property in the whatever state that you're visiting. I personally wanted to visit this a long time ago,
Yeah, always stop in mind with that
but
change.
because of COVID, because of this, because that, whatever, for whatever reason, can't just go out here. And now it's like, okay then.
Well, I think it's a lot of reason. Kids good age can travel finally. Don't
Yeah.
have to use a pram. It's the first time. First
Yeah.
time we did not have to bring a pram. They can walk. They can feed themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
more entertainment for the kids as well.
Yeah, they at the age for the theme park we thought, but it's still baby park.
Now, mind you, with this property, give you a background of this, we bought this with a buyer's agent.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, and then we pay for 5%
yeah. And
deposit only. That was
very
we were-
stressful.
Yeah, we were rushing to get into the market because that time I was pregnant with our first child.
No, this one and the second one.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
I was pregnant, and then because once the kids here, then we may not be able to borrow the money. So
Yeah.
we were rushing to get into that, and then the broker were saying, okay, maybe that's the last batch. You can borrow 5% because the banks were tightening the borrowing
Criteria.
Yeah, criteria.
Yeah.
So they require 10% instead of 5.
Yeah. So from then on, we're realizing, guys, okay, it's great that you can borrow the money.
Yeah, but
You can have less deposit.
yeah, we were just
However-
talking about that last night. Our loan, we bought it 282, but then we pay 5%. And then the loan, when we first started, it was like $278 or $279,000 in the mortgage, because we also plus we have to pay stamp duty, and then we pay the agent, the buyer's agent.
Yep.
And then
the
we
real
pay
estate.
no, real estate agent is the
Well,
seller.
from the seller, yeah.
And then the lender mortgage insurance. That's the thing that
Yep.
adds on top.
And then we were on interest only as well, which is
Yeah.
like the most riskiest.
Yeah, the
purchasing.
highest.
The highest risk.
Yeah,
Yes,
if we were high income, no kids, yes, PAYG, yes, that's
Yeah.
the strategy I would go for. But then, well, circumstances changed,
Yep.
and then I was not working. We were working contract, so it's not PAYG.
Yep.
And at one stage, the bank were changing the lending or based on if you're paying P&I, principal and interest, or interest only. If you're paying principal and interest, your interest rate is lower.
Yeah.
And I did a calculation that time. If we pay P&I, interest rate is lower, and our payment at that stage is cheaper.
Yeah.
Then why not? It's no brainer for us just to pay it down.
Yeah.
So the more we pay it down, we felt it feels pretty good because we got more money in our pocket. So we just stuff it, just pay it.
Pay it off as quickly as
Yeah.
possible, and that's
Yeah.
what we did. After paying off the mortgage, it feels good. But then I realized, okay, now we are 100% own this property. There is a maintenance cost that
Yeah.
we did not.
Put it into consideration.
So we'll go through it on the next video in here, or
Yeah.
the next couple of videos, and to have a little bit more understanding of it. So owning a property is not just the buying, it's not just the repayment, it's not just the receiving the I guess the rental
rent,
income.
yeah.
You gotta calculate a lot of things.
Yeah, ongoing cost.
Anyway, that's just our 2 cents, guys, to give you an understanding. So yeah, this is where we're staying.
So busy.
So busy down there. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, guys, and we'll see you next video.
So yeah, bye.